Most people think they are losing at life because they are not trying hard enough. They wake up tired, they push through the day, they stay busy, they stay stressed. And at night, when everything goes quiet, the same thought comes back. Why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward and I'm not? That thought is uncomfortable, so most people ignore it. They work harder instead. But what if the real problem is much worse than a lack of effort? What if the real problem is this? You are competing in a game you were never meant to win. Everyone around you seems ahead. They are buying homes, posting vacations, hitting milestones, celebrating progress. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start blaming yourself. You tell yourself you should be more disciplined, more focused, more motivated. But before we talk about motivation, effort, or discipline, we need to talk about the game itself. Because from a very young age, most of us were taught one clear path: go to school, get good grades, get a job, work hard, be patient. That path was simple, and for a long time it worked. If you followed the rules, you could expect stability, a predictable income, a decent life. So people trusted the system. They built their identity around it. But here's the part nobody tells you clearly. The rules changed. Quietly, gradually, without an announcement. Imagine playing a board game with friends. Everyone agrees on the rules. You start playing. You make careful moves. Then, halfway through the game, someone changes the rules without telling you. You keep playing the old way. They adapt to the new one. And when you start losing, everyone looks at you like the problem is obvious. But it's not obvious to you, because you're still playing the game you were taught. This is exactly what is happening in real life. Many people today are running as fast as they can. They are exhausted, they are burned out, but they are not moving forward. It's like running on a treadmill. You put in effort, you sweat, you get tired, but when you stop, you're still in the same place. At the same time, you see others moving ahead with what looks like less effort. They are not running faster, they're driving. Same destination, different vehicle. And this is where frustration begins, because you were taught that effort equals reward, that hard work always pays off. But effort alone is no longer enough. Not because effort is bad, but because effort is being applied to the wrong game. The modern world rewards different things now. Speed matters, leverage matters, ownership matters, attention matters. But most people were trained for something else entirely. They were trained to follow instructions, to wait for permission, to trade time for money, to stay within clear boundaries. That training made sense in a stable system, but in a fast-moving system, it becomes a trap. Here's how the trap works. You look around and compare. You compare salaries, you compare lifestyles, you compare timelines. You scroll, you watch, you measure, and every comparison quietly increases pressure. So you respond the only way you were taught. You push harder. More hours, less rest, more stress. But the scoreboard you're watching doesn't show the full picture. It only shows outcomes, not strategies, not systems, not starting positions. It's like watching the final score of a game without knowing the rules. You see someone winning and assume they're better. But what if they're just playing a different game? Imagine comparing yourself to someone playing chess while you're playing checkers. Same board, same pieces, but completely different rules. No matter how hard you try at checkers, you'll never beat a chess player using chess rules. That doesn't mean you're bad at the game. It means you're playing the wrong one. And nobody clearly explains this difference, so people internalize failure. They think they're behind in life. But most of the time, they're not behind. They're just measuring themselves using someone else's scoreboard. Here's another metaphor. Imagine bringing a spoon to a knife fight. You can be strong, you can be skilled, you can be determined, but the tool you brought limits you, not because you chose poorly, but because you were never told there were other tools. This is where awareness becomes powerful, because the turning point is not working harder. The turning point is seeing the game. The moment you stop asking, how do I beat them, and start asking, what game am I playing, everything changes. Some people play the time for money game. They trade hours for income. When they stop working, the money stops. There's nothing wrong with this game, but it has limits. Some people play the leverage game. They build systems, they use tools, they create processes that scale beyond their time. Some people play the ownership game. They own assets, they own equity, they own things that grow even when they are not actively working. These games are not better or worse, but mixing them without understanding is how people lose. Most frustration comes from unknowingly competing across different games. You try to outwork someone who is using leverage. You try to save faster than someone who owns appreciating assets. You try to hustle harder than someone who built systems years ago. And when you fail, you blame yourself. But here's the truth. Some people saw this early. Not because they were smarter, not because they were lucky, but because they questioned the rules sooner. They realized that following instructions was not the same as building control. They changed the way they played, and once they did, their results looked effortless from the outside. That illusion hurts the most, because effort without progress feels unfair, and fairness is something we deeply care about. But life is not a single fair game, it's multiple games running at the same time, and awareness is what allows you to choose. When you finally see the structure, panic disappears. You stop chasing random goals. You stop copying timelines that aren't yours. You slow down. And slowing down is not giving up, it's stepping back to see clearly. When you see clearly, you regain control. You stop asking, "Why am I behind?" and start asking, "What do I actually want to win at?" Because the fastest way to lose is to win at something that doesn't matter to you. Many people spend years winning approval, winning validation, winning comparisons, only to realize they never chose those games consciously. Clarity changes everything. It changes how you work. It changes how you rest. It changes how you define progress. You realize that being busy is not the same as moving forward. You realize that exhaustion is often a signal, not a badge of honor. You realize that silence and thinking can be more valuable than constant motion. Most importantly, you realize this: you were never behind. You were just measuring yourself by the wrong standard. And once that standard disappears, pressure fades. You don't need to quit everything. You don't need to escape society. You don't need extreme decisions. You just need awareness. Awareness of the game you're in. Awareness of the rules you're following. Awareness of the scoreboard you're using. When you have that awareness, you can choose deliberately. You can decide where effort makes sense. You can decide what to ignore. You can decide what success actually looks like for you. That is real power. Not hustle, not motivation, not comparison. Clarity. So before you push harder, pause. Before you compare again, pause. Before you blame yourself, pause and ask one simple question. What game am I playing? Because the moment you choose your game consciously, you stop losing by accident. And that, more than anything else, is how real progress begins. Thanks for watching our video. Like and subscribe our channel for more informative videos. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get notification of new uploaded videos.